Ahead on Daytime Buffalo, we get some tips and tricks from the Barnes firm on how you can keep your children safe this Halloween. And we make sure you are prepared for early voting with the League of Women Voters. It's all coming up right now on Daytime Buffalo. Good afternoon, hello, and welcome to Daytime Buffalo. I'm your host, Chelsea Lavelle. Happy Victory Monday, everyone. We're diving into Halloween safety and sharing vital tips on keeping your kids safe during the spooky season. Our guest today is Rich Barnes, president of our sponsors at the Barnes firm. Hi, Rich. Thanks for joining me.
Well, good afternoon. Thanks for having me, Chelsea.
Of course. I would like you to start off by sharing some statistics that you know about Halloween-related personal injuries in the United States.
Well, great question, and we're only a couple days away from the big day. Halloween is this week. Kids are getting very excited. Their parents are excited. And it is a great, fun event for everybody. But as you just mentioned, statistically and unfortunately, there is a significant uptick in accidents that lead to injuries during the Halloween season, and some of them serious. There's a variety of things that can happen. You get a bunch of kids out in the dark, in costumes, very excited. They're running around. Their parents are doing their best to control them. But a lot of what we refer to as trip and fall or slip and fall kind of accidents can happen, especially if the weather takes a turn for the worst.
That's true.
Sidewalk elevations, because sometimes it's different in the dark to be walking. Some of the decorations that people put up are fantastic nowadays, but they've got all kinds of wires and extension cords. So those kind of situations can cause excited kids to trip and get injured. Now, the biggest concern, though, Chelsea, is pedestrian motor vehicle accidents, because these do significantly, unfortunately, increase on Halloween night. And the age group that seems to be most susceptible to this are the kids between 12 and 15 years old. And what the statistics tell us is these kids, for the most part, aren't trick-or-treating mom and dad anymore. Right. Yeah. And they're not looking, and they're in a hurry, and they're with their friends. So I think it's very important for parents of both the young and the older kids to talk about these things, to remember that there are cars out there, that crosswalks are there for a reason, that it's not safe to dart out between parked cars, and just to really pay attention to what's there to be seen, including cars.
Right. Do you want to have or talk a little bit about some key safety measures to keep in mind to protect those trick-or-treaters? Yeah,
another great question. And as to the younger kids are still with parents, making sure the costumes are safe, flame resistant. Most of them are made that way now. Parents have seemed to have gotten away from masked to a large. When I was a kid, you had these masks you couldn't even see out of the eye holes. My mother would cut them to make them bigger, but parents now seem to go with the face painting, which I think is a great idea. It's even a little more creative. Being visible is the important thing, making sure the costumes have reflective qualities. Kids love flashlights, especially the little kids, and that makes them more visible. They got the candy in one hand and the flashlight in the other. So just making sure the kids are, if you're supervising them, they're listening to you, they're following your directions, and we can see them.
Perfect. Okay. Now, obviously, we're talking about the role that parents play, and it's crucial to keeping those those kids safe on Halloween. But what about homeowners? How can trick-or-treaters that are coming to their house for homeowners make their house safer?
Sure. Most towns and villages and cities have ordinances that say if you got your lights on, you're inviting trick-or-treaters. If you don't choose to do that, your lights are off. So if you are inviting trick-or-treaters, making sure that the path for them to come to your door is clear. If the weather is an issue, clearing the walkway. Making sure your decorations are not an impediment to excited kids getting to the door. Another thing I, as a dog lover, suggest to people is have your dogs occupied somewhere else in the house. We know how dogs, when the doorbell rings, they get excited. That's great, but you got little kids to deal with. So making sure everything is just kind of secure and safe to make sure you can deliver the candy to these excitable kids and have them on their way to the next house.
Nice. Okay. Well, do you have any last thoughts or messages you would like to share with our listeners about Halloween safety?
Well, yeah, as I said, this is really a fun time of year for adults and kids. And on behalf of our family from the Barnes Firm, I wish everybody a safe and fun trick-or-treat time. Enjoy it.
And if someone were to get injured now or any other time, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
Well, we can be reached 24/7 at 1-800-8-million or at thebarnesfirm.com. Anytime, we're happy to answer any questions any of your viewers may have.
All righty, Rich. Thank you so much for coming in and sharing with us more. We're getting excited for the big day, but we want to make sure we're keeping everyone safe, right?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Well, viewers, if you or someone you know has been in an accident or needs help, visit our sponsors, thebarnesfirm.com, or call the Barnes Firm today at 1-800-8-million and speak with an experienced attorney. Thanks again for coming in.
Thanks, Chelsea.